But the big breaking news at this hour is the big update we've gotten from the Indian Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal Birendra Singh Dhanwa. He has confirmed that anti-terror operations are still currently on. He says that operations are ongoing. So doubts have now ended over India's course of action after the Balakot strikes. He was asked by journalists about whether there would be any follow-up operations, and he said that he cannot comment on what he calls ongoing operations. So this means that any doubts about whether operations were coming to an end after Wing Commander Abhinandan was sent back, whether there was going to be a hard de-escalation of hostilities, well, Air Force Chief Dhanwa has confirmed that operations are ongoing. We will not look for the details of what those operations are. Suffice it to say that the Air Chief has settled all arguments and debates about whether India will back off now, and he says operations are ongoing. Our Defence Editor Abhishek Bhalla live with us on this breaking story. Abhishek, the Air Chief there putting to rest a lot of doubts, in public minds, in the media's mind about what India's next step would be. Doesn't give any specifics, but categorically says that operations are ongoing.
Well, Shiv, the message is loud and clear. The operations on the ground, specifically by the army and other security forces, be it in the hinterland, in the Kashmir Valley, especially in South Kashmir, to flush out terrorists, they are ongoing. Every day we hear of an encounter that's taking place. And on the other hand, there is considerable action as far as the line of control is concerned. Ever since the Pulwama attack on 14th February, there have been continued ceasefire violations by Pakistan. The Indian Army has retaliated. Now the level of that retaliation, as I've heard from my sources, is pretty big. There has been considerable damage that is caused on the other side. But of course, the news about these actions was buried in the aerial fight and the dog fight and the air raids that took place from both the sides. But be rest assured that even though Wing Commander Abhinandan is back, things have de-escalated to a large extent. But as far as anti-terror operations are concerned, the Indian forces are not taking a step backwards.
No step backwards. Thanks very much, Abhishek, for that, because, what the Air Chief basically said today was a beautiful, outstanding message. He sent out a straight message saying, look, don't come to me asking for information about human casualties. The Indian Air Force does not look for Indian casualties. We only count targets. We don't count bodies. We only count targets. This was basically in response to what has basically been about 1 week of non-stop political slugfesting and fisticuffs between the Congress and the BJP over where is the proof of all this damage that was apparently caused in Balakot. Whether it's the BJP chief, Amit Shah, putting out a number of those killed in Balakot, to various members of the Congress party saying proof dikhao, proof dikhao, proof dikhao, and taking all manner of idiotic examples to support their demand. The politics over the airstrikes in Balakot is now right on top.
मित्रों नरेंद्र मोदी सरकारे बरोबर 13 દિવસે એર સ્ટ્રાઇક કરી 250 થી વધારે આતંકવાદીઓને સૌંપ.
5 days after India struck Jaish terror training camps in Pakistan's Balakot, BJP chief Amit Shah has put a number on terrorist casualties in the Indian Air Force airstrike on Pakistan soil. This even as the Indian Air Force refuses to speak on numbers.
Air Force is not in a position to clarify that how many people were inside at that way. We don't count human casualties. We count what targets have we hit or not hit.
This is not the first time that the Indian Air Force has reserved their right to issue a statement on the number of casualties.
It will be premature to say that what is the number of casualties we have been able to inflict on those camps.
The government itself is speaking in many voices. Though there has been no official count so far, sources in the government had first pegged the number of casualties at over 300. The opposition parties, which had maintained a studied silence, are now accusing the government of playing politics.
Mr. Ahluwalia, who is in government, said that our intention was not to kill anybody, right? Now, Amit Shah says 250 people have been killed. Now, who should we believe? A minister of the government or Amit Shah, who is just a president of a party?
जिस तरह का प्रमाण अमेरिका की सरकार ने उसामा बिन लादेन के बारे में पूरे विश्व को दिया, उस तरह का प्रमाण हमको भी देना चाहिए।
अभी उनकी तमाम चुनावी वायदे जो उन्होंने गद्दारी की, धोखा दिया जनता को, अब आर्मी के कंधों पकड़कर वो उसको ठीक करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
Punjab Minister Navjot Singh Sidhu has questioned the purpose of the strike, calling it an election gimmick. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, on the other hand, wondered if Amit Shah was doubting the Air Force, which has not given any numbers. The floodgates of opposition criticism, in fact, has opened after the first salvo was fired by the fiercest critic of the Modi government, Mamata Banerjee.
এবং মানুষ মারা যায় না, কেউ বলছে একজন মারা গেছে, তো সত্যটা কি এটা তো লোকে জানতেই পারে। আমরা এই ব্যাপারে টোটাল আমরা মনে করি আমরা ফোর্সের সাথে আছি।
The BJP meanwhile defended Amit Shah. It is accusing the opposition of insulting the armed forces.
The Congress is showing its original stripes. Today they are standing with terrorists and Pakistani aggressors and army, and they are questioning the bravery and the valor of the Indian Air Force.
BJP President Amit Shah has claimed that around 250 militants were killed in the airstrikes which are carried out in Balakot. On the other hand, the Indian Air Force has still not given out any number as far as the number of casualties of the militants are concerned. The Indian Air Force officials are saying that it is government which is in a better position to give out the number and not them. On the other hand, the war of word has erupted between the opposition and the ruling establishment, wherein the opposition is going all out and slamming BJP and its top leadership, saying that they are trying to politicize the entire airstrikes. With the journalist Ashwini Helen, Supriya Bhardwaj for India Today in Delhi.
All right, for the quick face-off on the politics that has taken over on the Balakot airstrikes. Proof dikhao. How many bodies? What were the human casualties? Why is the government not speaking? It's become a full face-off between the BJP and the Congress party. Joining me live from the Congress is Sanjay Jha, Air Marshal Dheeraj Kukreja, former commander of the Indian Air Force's Training Command. But I first want to bring in our defense editor, Abhishek Bhalla, once again. Abhishek, Air Chief Marshal Dhanoa today, very straight answers about, the question of human casualties. They're saying we don't count bodies, we count targets, which was a straight reply to the politics that has happened right now. How does the Air Force, Abhishek, since you've been in touch with them, how are officers and pilots in the Air Force seeing this BJP versus Congress tutu meme over Balakot?
Well, Shiv, I can tell you that this has not gone down too well in the defense establishment, particularly in the Air Force, because they feel that, there should be no political bickering over a serious military action, and that too a rare military action like an air raid that has not happened since 1971. And this bickering that has been happening has certainly left a sour taste as far as the defense establishment is concerned. But today the Air Chief Marshal made it very clear. He did plain speaking that they are not going to, they are not going to get into this debate of how many are dead, what are the casualties. They were assigned a task, they knew what a target is, and they've hit that target. And they don't want to speak anything beyond it. And that's been the consistent line of the Air Force from the first day. Not even once did they say that the number of casualties are 200, 300 or 350. All they said was that the target was hit.
Absolutely, that's really the point here. Abhishek, thanks very much for that. We'll let you go for the moment so you can get us more on what's going on with the Air Force. But Air Marshal Kukreja, before I go to the politicians, and we'll have Aman Sinha of the BJP also joining us in a moment, but Air Marshal Kukreja, what are you making of it? I know for a fact that the Air Force is not surprised by the politics that's taking place over the Balakot strikes. But isn't it a sad day, sir, that the serving chief of the air staff needs to come in front of cameras to basically tell the country that we are soldiers, we don't count bodies. We simply do the task that has been entrusted to us, and we have done that, which is target those terror camps.
Absolutely, Shiv. This is, I think we all should hang our heads down in shame.
Yeah.
this is, if I could use the word, this is ridiculous. This political bickering, this tutu mama, as you said it, this slugfest, this is just not done. And a man in uniform, whether he's wearing the uniform or a chap like me who has hung his uniform, we don't get into this slugfesting and political bickering. This, you see, how was the target selected? It was credible information that was given by the intelligence. It was human intelligence that gave us that there was likely to be X number of people in that area on that particular night, and therefore narrowed down, and the pros and cons of selecting each target. You see, there were a list of 4 or 5 targets.
Yes.
But Bahawalpur was one of them. But the thing is that this was selected because in consultation with the Intelligence Bureau or whosoever, RAW or NTRO or whosoever is given the information, I'm not interested in that. As an Air Force man, I am interested. Here is a target list of ABC.
Correct.
You discuss with the INT people and decide as to which is the best out.
So I want to, Emajal Kukreja, I want to take that point forward one by one, because we're now joined by Sanjay Jha of the Congress Party, and we have Aman Sinha of the BJP also with us, will be joining us in a moment. You know, Sanjay, and I'm going to put this question once Aman is through, about why the BJP chief has come out and put out those numbers, you know, which have not been corroborated by the government or the Ministry of Defence. But not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 senior leaders, Sanjay, of the Congress Party have come forward, either saying give us proof, or saying how many bodies, or calling into question the efficacy of the actual airstrike. Has it not occurred to these leaders, Sanjay, that they could be damaging an operation, and a very sensitive operation, by the Indian Air Force while trying to score these points against the Modi government?
Shiv, let me just remind you of what Lieutenant General D.S. Huda, who in fact led the surgical strike in 2016, said very, very publicly. He said it's deeply unfortunate and highly regrettable that political parties make massive capital out of the efforts of the military and the various defense forces in cross-border retaliation against Pakistan, or attacks, or the postures we take. And I think that, to my mind, is a manifestation of the problem we face today. It's a crisis, I think, of political immorality at its worst. Now, you asked me the question of why the Congress Party has said whatever, in terms of questioning the number of 300 people killed in the attack in Balakot. Do you remember that Mr. Rahul Gandhi came and publicly stated that we'll back the Narendra Modi government after the Pulwama terror attack? Do you know what Amit Shah did 48 hours within that statement? Amit Shah was campaigning in Assam. Narendra Modi went on a campaign saying that, start voting for the BJP. Yediyurappa, a chief minister, former chief minister of Karnataka, went on to talk about the number of seats the BJP will win in Karnataka. So
Sanjay, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about Yediyurappa and Modi and Amit Shah. I'm speaking specifically about this, about the politicization of military actions is accepted. I am asking simply in this regard. I am talking specifically about Balakot, since we have limited time. I take your point. Everything that you've just listed, I take your point, and we covered it here on India Today. Other channels wouldn't do that. I am simply asking, and while we wait for Aman Sinha, I'm saying from Sidhu to Kapil Sibal to Digvijay Singh, quoting the Osama operation. My simple question is, in your effort to attack the Modi government for a legitimate cause, politicization of military is a very serious issue that you're attacking them on, has the Congress lost sight of the fact that the collateral damage is the Indian Air Force in the Balakot issue?
It is not. Let me tell you, the Congress Party, and I say so again, and I'm saying so with full responsibility. The Congress party will stand by everything that India's defense forces do. This is the problem that we have today. For the first time, it's unprecedented. Shiv, you have followed defense for a long time. Please admit to this, that this has never happened before, that a political party's leaders stand beside the poster of Wing Commander Abhinandan, who's just come back, for heaven's sake, going through a terrible trauma. He's come back to India, and they're taking, you know, pictures and posters. They have put the lotus on his pictures. I mean, what kind of vulgar, cheap, crude politics is the BJP doing?
We're still waiting for Aman Sinha of the BJP to join this particular discussion. And I want to move forward from this particular point. Okay, your point's taken, Sanjay. And I want to bring in Air Marshal Kukreja on this point. I'll just come back to you, Sanjay. I'll just come back to you. Air Marshal Kukreja, you know, this is not going to stop, sir. You know, before the elections, you know, all is fair. You know, including bringing into questions the, whether all 5 bombs hit their targets in Balakot. Did those bombs kill anybody? You know, the stuff that should not be the subject of a political slugfest. It's now open season, sir, and we are still many weeks away from the elections, which basically means that things could actually get a whole lot worse. As a veteran, how does that make you feel, Air Marshal?
It makes me feel sad. If I could just put it in one line, I would like to make one point here. You see, after a strike, it is the job of the analysts in the intelligence community to identify that what damage has been done.
Yeah.
And depending on their initial human int, that if there was supposed to be a large congregation of people there, then that is the one that they are supposed to find out from the same sources that they have.
Okay.
Whether the strike killed anybody. Here I would like to quote an Italian journalist, a lady, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name.
Yes.
Who came on some channel about 3-4 days ago. She said it's not important whether 30 people died or 300 people died. What is important is that there was a terror camp in Pakistan territory.
Correct.
And which the Indian Air Force has hit.
Correct.
I imagine an Italian journalist is accepting the point that Indian Air Force has destroyed that camp, and here we have political bickering.
No, exactly. So it's that political bickering which has become weaponized in the hands of Pakistan, because, you know, the sound bites from Sidhu, from Digvijay Singh, and also from Amit Shah this morning have all become social media propaganda weapons in the hands of Pakistan. Aman Sinha, you know, the government, the MOD, the PMO, the intelligence agencies, nobody has come out with this figure of 250 to 300 terrorists killed. By quoting that figure, has the BJP president also added to this politics over the armed forces? Because the BJP says don't politicize, try and believe the armed forces, but the armed forces are not saying anything about the casualties, sir. Why is the BJP president doing so?
Shiv, I do not understand how is this politicizing the issue. We are saying that we have hit the terrorists. Our fighter jets have, for the first time after 1971, gone across the border, gone into Pakistani territory and hit the terrorist infrastructure which used to exist in Balakot. Now, the Pakistani minister himself on floor of the House in Islamabad has admitted to these strikes, and obviously therefore they wanted to retaliate also. But what is unfortunate is, Shiv, that the way opposition parties are towing the Pakistani line, trying to undermine the potent action of our Air Force to strike the Pakistani terror camps for the first time after 1971, which never happened. That is what is unfortunate, Shiv, that the Congress government, which at no point in time responded or reacted to large number of terror attacks, whether it was after 26/11 or after any other terror attacks. I have seen statements even on India Today, that report was showing that Air Force after 26/11 attacks wanted permission to attack these terror camps in Balakot, Muzaffarabad, but the Congress government, the UPA government of that time, did not allow them, denied them that permission to strike for more than a 1 month.
Sanjay, the BJP is saying the Congress is irritated and sulking that since the Congress in the past has not had the gumption to conduct airstrikes, therefore you consider it appropriate now to undermine airstrikes that have happened this time since they are of a historical nature. Sanjay, that's the BJP's allegation. You can respond.
Shiv, let me tell you, surgical strikes have happened before. They happened even during the time of Mr. Vajpayee. They happened during the time of Dr. Manmohan Singh. The fact is that this government took it public because they wanted to actually milk it politically, which I think is a politically unethical act. And I think the people of India will give them a fitting answer in 2019. Did you hear the comment of Himanta Biswa Sharma?
Shiv,
he said Pakistan will attack the Assam Assembly if you don't vote for the BJP. Can you imagine the kind of paranoia that is being created?
Aman, I'll give you the last minute. Hold on.
Can you imagine the kind of euphoria that is being created? Can you imagine a BJP leader? Just a minute.
Aman, I'll give you a minute. Let him finish. I'll come to you.
Arey, please do not interrupt. Be a dignified guy.
20 seconds. 20 seconds to you.
How can you
Shiv, I want to make just
20 seconds. I'll give you a minute, Aman. Let him finish. You'll have uninterrupted
Respond
minute.
immediately and then go ahead.
Yeah.
When was this surgical strike conducted under UPA government? When did the Indian Air Force cross LOC
can you
and
just
went
put this
into
man on
Pakistani territory
silence,
to attack
please? Can you
terror
put
camps?
his speaker down because he will not let me
I have
finish.
30 seconds left on the show.
Shiv,
you've asked a question, you can answer it. You can answer it, Sanjay. 30 seconds.
So anyway, I'm going to make this
40 seconds left, 20 seconds to each.
Himanta Biswa Sharma publicly states, Himanta Biswa Sharma goes on record and says Pakistan will attack the Assam Assembly if you don't vote Modi and the BJP. I mean, have you ever seen such preposterous, absurd, and to borrow, the Air Marshal's term, ridiculous level of politics in a country? I mean, this is making India into a banana republic.
Okay. I'm out of time. 20 seconds, Aman. 20 seconds to you.
Military.
20 seconds, final words.
Allow me to respond.
Aman, 20 seconds.
We will contest them.
20 seconds. Only 20 seconds. Only 20 seconds.
First of all, Mr. Sanjay Jha spoke a blatant lie when he said that surgical strikes were conducted during the UPA Congress regime. This is yet another blatant lie. The fact of the matter is that the Congress party is towing the Pakistani line, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to tow the Pakistani line.
I'm out of time, gentlemen. I'm out of time. Apologies regretfully that Aman couldn't join us earlier, so we couldn't give more time. But gentlemen, thank you. But this is proof, of course, that politics is going to continue over what happened in Balakot. The big takeaway from today is what we broke at the top of this show. The Air Force chief saying operations are ongoing. So Balakot, Wing Commander Abhinandan is not the end of this episode. It's going to continue.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.